This week's video is about the Tyrannosaurus. Now actually, this is a new fact to most of you. The T-Rex's real name is actually just Tyrannosaurus, but the full scientific name is Tyrannosaurus rex. So really, it's just called Tyrannosaurus. But the full name, a person's full name is Tyrannosaurus rex, and it's often abbreviated to T-Rex. There should be a baryonyx bee walkery. Yeah, my favorite dinosaur. So this is about the Tyrannosaurus. It's one of the world's most famous dinosaurs, and probably every person in the world, even a baby, knows about it. So, first of all, the word Tyrannosaurus means in Greek language tyrant lizards, even though dinosaurs weren't even lizards, and they were more related to birds than dinosaurs, because some dinosaurs had bones. We'll get more into T-Rex anatomy in a minute. So, first of all, the T-Rex is in the family Tyrannosaurids. So that includes things like the Spletosaurus, Guanla, Tarbosaurus, Albertosaurus, and Gorgosaurus. And they're all related to the Tyrannosaurus. They're all very big carnivorous dinosaurs. And of course, all of them have the small two-fingered hands and arms. So the T-Rex eats things like Triceratops, Ankylosaurs, Edmontosaurus, Hadrosaurs, T-Rex, Struthiomimus, and sauropods. They were also sometimes they were scavengers too. There's a debate whether T-Rexes were scavengers or if they hunted for prey. So some people think they were scavengers, but some people think they were hunting. But I believe that it could have been both. It could have been an ambush predator, it could have been a chasing predator, or it could have just scavenged on already dead things. And most of its diet was very large herbivore dinosaurs. And did I mention that T-Rexes were most likely cannibals? T-Rexes, bull T-Rexes may have often attacked younger T-Rexes and ate them. So the T-Rex was around in the late Cretaceous period. So they were one of the more later dinosaurs. They weren't around that long, because in the late Cretaceous period, of course, that's when the disaster struck. So they didn't last long. They were the most successful living things, dinosaurs. They were around for millions of years. There was one dinosaur that had the ability to kill and eat the T-Rex. It was one of the biggest carnivorous dinosaurs, bigger than a T-Rex. It could swim and it can go on land. It had a massive sail on its back, the spine. Dinosaurs. featured in Jurassic Park 3 and Camp Cretaceous Season 4, and hopefully Jurassic World Dominion. And T-Rex, of course, is one of the most famous dinosaurs. It's featured in films like Night at the Museum, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and Land of the Lost, and also The Land Before Time. And it was the main dinosaur in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. So they were very famous, and they actually weren't the biggest dinosaur, and definitely not the biggest carnivore dinosaur either. They were 40 feet long, so they were very big, and they were 12 foot tall, so they were much longer than height because they most likely walked with their tails stretched out far and their heads, because their heads were very big and heavy. Very big and heavy. So they used their long tails to balance it, walking more like this kind of rainbow Rex. So they were very heavy dinosaurs. They weighed between 11,000 pounds and 15,500 pounds. So if he ever went to the doctor and he got on the weighing scale, it would explode. And the door would too. And so would the doctor. He'd eat the doctor. So the pronunciation, I'm pretty sure we all know how to pronounce it, but pronunciation is Tyrannosaurus Rex. So they lived like coastal swamps, forests, plains, and semi-tropical climates. So that they lived in North America and Asia. That's where some T-Rex fossils have been found. Yeah, so they weren't the biggest dinosaur, not the biggest carnivore either. As I said, the Spinosaurus. There's also Giganotosaurus, which is also bigger. Giga Dino. Because the largest dinosaur was like sauropods, which are in the T-Rex's diet. And one of the biggest dinosaur teeth ever found was a T-Rex tooth at 30 centimeters long. If I had my ruler here, it would be as big as a ruler. They're like giant murder bananas because they're the size of bananas. Their arms were 1 meter long, so like that's a long arm, but for a 40 feet long dinosaur, it's not that big. Some dinosaur fossils have names, and one of the most well-preserved dinosaur fossils is named Sue, after the person who found the fossil. It's very well preserved, and they even made like a model replica of one, like a statue kind of. And it's very realistic. It has a hadrosaur in its mouth. And female T-Rexes were probably bigger than male T-Rexes. That's what lots of animals alive today. And and the man who discovered the first T-Rex was named Barnum Brown. Barnum Brown the Hunter. And he worked for the Natural History Museum of New York, I think. It was either the British Natural History Museum or the New York Natural History Museum. And it was discovered in Montana. So, we're going to get into T-Rex anatomy or biology. So, this is my big chunky dinosaur book. And in it, one of the pages has a T-Rex and inside its body. Of course, no one can really tell what inside their body was like, but it was something like this. So it's got things like it's long, it's very hard to read upside down, the arms, claws on their toes, they're very large feet, a hip bone, backbone, and they have very strong muscly tails. And you might notice that this T-Rex has feathers along its back. So this is an argument lots of dinosaur people get very angry about, because some people believe T-Rex had feathers, but other people believe T-Rex did not have feathers. Now, I think a new recent study had shown that T-Rexes did have feathers, but they were very small and they were pretty unnoticeable, like a pig. You can notice a pig does have small hairs on its body, but they're very small and you wouldn't notice them very much. Some people don't even know pigs have hair. So T-Rex, they had very strong jaws. They could clamp down on their prey with these big jaws. And they had lots of teeth. Did I write how many teeth they had? They had 50 to 60 banana-sized teeth. That's a lot of banana-sized teeth. So if you're a Triceratops, and they were the inspiration, one of the dinosaurs that inspired Godzilla. And there was a T-Rex fossil that was sold for $7 million, being the most expensive dinosaur fossil ever. I don't know who just has that amount of money they can just spend on a dinosaur. And they're very smart. They had quite large brains, and some studies think that they were almost as smart as a chimpanzee. And chimpanzees are smart if you didn't know. Their brains were almost twice the size of other carnivorous dinosaurs at that time. Like their cousins, the guanlongs and the albertosauruses. Their brains were almost twice the size as big as theirs. So that's it for this week's video. The answer to last week's question was the bat. What is the only mammal that can fly? This week's question is, what two mammals can lay eggs? I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I hope to see you next week. If you enjoyed, share with your friends and like and subscribe. We're almost to 60 subscribers. One more. So if you haven't subscribed, you should, because it's just a tap of a button. You don't even have to pay or anything, and it helps me. So that's it for this week's video. Goodbye.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and where I come from, it's very special.